Welcome to the Conversation Cafe. It's a weekly feature of the Multi-Faith and Spirituality Center at Concordia. Each week we engage people in questions of spirituality, faith, human growth, any topic to reflect on and wonder at and be curious about and engage in. So I'll introduce our guests and we'll introduce each other in a moment, but I do want to just be mindful that as we gather, we are on unceded indigenous lands. We're on the Kanien'kehá:ka Nation, where I am anyways. I'm in outside of Montreal in the suburbs. So, but Concordia is located in Tiohtià:ke, Montreal, and it's been for many years been a gathering place and a place of learning. And I think it's great that we also come to learn together. And if you're somewhere else in the country, on other territory, it's a great opportunity to reflect where you are, on whose land, and even to think about, I've often wondered who are the first peoples of the land I grew up in, which is Germany. So I have some idea, but it'd be a great project to do really some more digging. So we're mindful and grateful to be here. And our Conversation Cafe is an opportunity to learn. It's a judgment-free zone. It's a time to explore. It's a time to create safe spaces for brave conversations. And sometimes it's brave activities. I have to admit, I'm a little bit not nervous, but I don't consider myself an artist. And so for me, it actually includes some, I have to be brave today when I do the art, but I have every confidence that Juss, our guest, will guide us through this very, very beautifully and comfortably. And before I introduce her, I want to give each of us the opportunity just to say who we are. So I invite you to say your name, say how you're connected to Concordia, and tell us a piece of art you like, just sort of one sentence. So I'm Ellie, I'm the chaplain at Concordia and the head of the Multi-Faith and Spirituality Center. And a piece of art that I like, there's some beautiful statues downtown, and the one that comes to mind is the sun. I think it's not even there in the winter, but the Chihuli sun in front of the Musée des Beaux-Arts. So, and I'll pass it on to Renee.
Hi, I'm Renee Tuga, and I am a student in the MA program in Educational Studies. I'm brand new there, so this is my first term. And a piece of art, I'm like looking around my room. I'm looking at art behind me here, but my favorite art is really my children's art, and they're older now. They're young adults, late teens, young adults, but I have their art all over my house and looking at it right now. That's my favorite art. And my son is like, they're not just, I mean, I think lots of people are artists and all people are artists in some regards, but like my son, like they're real artists. These aren't just kids. Like they've grown into like, you know, art career in moving into careers in the art world. So anyways, but I loved all of their art all the way through.
And do you want to pass it on?
Yes, I'm going to pass this on to Mark.
Thank you. So my name is Mark. I work with the Multi-Faith and Spirituality Center as well. And somebody had brought up Marc Chagall recently, so I guess I'm thinking of his work around the 1910s, especially Paris 1913. This beautiful picture of like a bunch of floating shapes, a Hasidic couple upside down, and the Eiffel Tower, and just reminding me what like cities might be like, the ideal city, but also what new spaces can look like to a new set of eyes. And I will pass it on to Ashley.
Thanks. Hi, I'm Ashley. I am the interfaith facilitator at the MFSC, and I'm struggling to pick a piece, so I will say an artist. Kent Monkman has been one of my favorite artists for a while, and I'll just pick his entire exhibition, Shame and Prejudice, which is about Indigenous issues meeting Canadian history and that sort of that. It's fantastic. And I will pass it on to Gagandeep.
Hello, everyone. Hi, My name is Gagandeep, and I'm from Glasgow, UK. And I found out about this via Instagram when I looked at Miss Kaur's Instagram post, and I was like, I always wanted to hear her and her artwork. And I assume, not I assume, I think, yeah, I believe she is my favorite artist. And I just, if I show you, this was the first artwork I did. It's like uh, it's like a gurumukhi, and I wrote it after getting inspired by Miss Kaur's artwork,
Mm,
and I have written it like small, like this.
mm,
And I was after looking at her, so I have started this new piece, which is again I'm writing like small after getting
Wow.
inspired from Miss Kaur, and I'm so thankful for you guys to organize this and letting us chance to learn more. And I'm all ready with my stuff. Thanks very much. Thank you.
mm. And Gagandeep, I guess you get to pass it on to Soko.
Oh yeah, I'm so yeah.
Hi, my name is Soko. I used to live in Montreal, and just a few months before the pandemic, I moved to the Laurentians. So I used to go to Concordia, yes, to Art Hives and to Saint Henri, and do some volunteer work at the hospital with art also. And so the pandemic kept helped me to keep in touch with Montreal. so 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 here I am, yes, and the art that I like, I like different kind of art, and I like very bright colors, but I also like ink. So sometimes I work more with ink, sometimes more with colors, and sometimes I mix them. And I don't really have like studies about art, but just a few drawing classes here and there. But but I like it, and since the pandemic, I've been drawing more. So I noticed that as a person, our art changes with time when we really practice. So thank you for this space.
Lovely. And welcome, Kavita. So thank you all for sharing your names, who you are, and we could talk about art just for an hour, but we're here today to learn and engage with Juss. So Juss is an artist, author, professor, and at the MFSC, at the Multi-Faith and Spirituality Center, we know her best as a member of our multi-faith network, and she's a Sikh member. And I've learned so much from you, Juss, about Sikhism, and had a chance to experience some of it at some langars, and and I've always marveled at your art, and your beautiful book is behind you. I have it at the office. I unfortunately don't have it at home, and I've always been very curious about it and about the whole concept of mantra art, and so I'm really, really grateful to welcome you and for you to lead us through a process this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Ellie. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm excited that everybody's joining us. Vicky just joined us. Kavita, she's joining us from the States, which is very nice to see. Some people were having difficulty registering for some reason. And so, anyway, she made it. Maybe others are also. It doesn't matter. But Gagandeep, before I start, thank you so much. I saw your art and it's already looking fabulous. I don't think you need to be here today, to be honest. But that's okay. I'm sure you're going to be doing fine. So, thank you, first of all, everyone, for being here. I'm really, really excited and looking forward to sharing with you my journey with mantra art and how it has been a wonderful spiritual tool for me. Uh, while each one of us is experiencing the effects of this bizarre and exciting time of change, well, change, which is inevitable sooner or later, it has brought for many a period of intrinsic, deep understanding of the mercurial nature of our universe and our part in it. Now, in this workshop, I'm going to first begin by discussing what the concept of oneness and omnipresence means for me. Then I'll share with you what mantra I use, why, and how it relates to the universal power, and also share with you several art pieces and their stories and how it led me to get my book being published too. So this presentation is approximately 15 to 20 minutes, but hopefully it will introduce you to how art, any form of art, we can call it music, you can call it cooking, you can call it creative writing, any form of art can become a portal for hope as we increasingly become in tune with the infinite. And that's the whole principle behind this art. So I'm going to share with you now a PowerPoint, and I'll talk through it with you. Voila. I think I've got that now. Okay, so let's begin. Hopefully this will allow me to start off with from here. The creative endeavor. In 2005, the National Science Foundation published an article regarding research about human thoughts. Amazingly, the average person has 60,000 thoughts per day, and 95% of them are exactly the same, day in and day out. But when a person manages to become completely immersed in a creative endeavor, they may find themselves in what is called the time zone, a state of flow It's a state of flow or absorption that completely focuses the mind and temporarily pushes aside all irrelevant thoughts. I'm going to read that again because I was distracted for a second over there. So when we are completely absorbed in something that is creative, we are in a zone or a flow, and that absorption makes you focus the mind and temporarily pushes all irrelevant thoughts out. So focusing our attention or concentration on one thing helps us in breaking free from the constant debilitating chatter of our thoughts. So in the process of creating, we learn to quieten ourselves, to become still, to listen, and to let creativity flow through us. This allows us to discover our inner space and connect to the harmony and beauty of the universe. So creating art or even writing creatively can be seen as a form of meditation and spiritual dialogue. It's a space for attention, for listening to the ideas that are sprouting within. Sometimes we call it the still small voice, from inside. You're listening to that, letting them germinate, watching them evolve, and then finally taking fruition. This focus helps us tap into the transformational resources already present within themselves. Now, I mentioned this earlier in one of my introductions, Mary Oliver, and this really talks to this art. Attention is the beginning of devotion, because it's only when you're you can focus your consciousness on one point at a time that you can take it to wherever you desire it to. So we have to settle the mind. We have to be patient with ourselves and clarify intention. What is the purpose of all of this? And in all that, you get connected. So how can we do this? Whether it's sound, rhythm, or speech, they have profound effects on our body, thoughts, and emotions. Now, I'm sure all of us are aware of how soothing music is. It can really relax you and bring down the day's stress if you require. Similarly, rhythm and speech. We can call this meditation. For me, this meditation comes in the form of writing a mantra. What is a mantra? It's a tool of the mind used to free itself. So it's a tool which allows us to free ourselves from other things that are going in our minds. It's a Sanskrit word, and it's derived from two roots. The first is man, or man, if you want. If you're calling it mantra, then use man. But if you're calling it the Sanskrit way, it would be mantra, which is man. And actually, that simply means your mind, or to think about something. And then we have tra. Sorry, I went overboard. And it just simply means to free from, to protect, or it is an instrument. Tra. So putting them together is mantra. Science informs us that that everything in the universe vibrates. And each has its own rhythm. Because we are made up of particles, atoms, which are broken down further and further down until it is actually just rhythm. Similarly, our thoughts and feelings are vibrations in our body and our consciousness. The mantra is like a password, a key to attain a certain state of consciousness. It's the entering point. In effect, the sounds that they are sounds that through constant repetition. Now, when I say sounds, it doesn't have to be only a sound. It could be the way you're writing. It's the same thing. It's constant repetition, which actually produces vibrations that penetrate the depths of the unconscious mind. So my mantra is the word Vaheguru. In Punjabi, which is the language of the Sikhs, it is written in this green painting that you see over here. Those are the words, the 4 words that make it up. And I am drawn towards it simply because I was born in the Sikh faith. And from the very beginning, meaning from birth, I was, introduced to this, and it stuck with me. But that doesn't mean that there are not any other mantras. There are many. I'm sure you've heard of the mantra Om. A lot of people have that. And so many. I'll talk about that in a minute. So the word Va, the first word, the Va, it's pronounced, first of all, it's pronounced Vaheguru. And the Va, it's an exclamation of wondrous gratitude to the infinite, like, wow. It's almost like that, like something that really excites you or, astonishes you. The second word is Hey, and this means thou or you or the one infinite source. And Gu means darkness and Ru means light. So it is the light that comes in from here that removes the darkness. In other words, guru means the higher self, the divine teacher, which is within. So we've got to find that guidance, the voice that's coming from within. And in order to hear it, you've got to tune in to the correct wavelength, so to speak. So here, I just wanted to share with you what that looks like. On the right-hand side, you've got that Vaheguru written in Punjabi, and it's written again and again in a very rhythmic pattern. Now, the size of it doesn't matter. It's up to you. Because obviously, if you're going to start off with a very small painting, you can't write it very big either. So it depends on there. On the left, there is a painting that I call Hope. And it is a painting in which there is a dawn coming out. And each one of those, everything over there is made up with that particular word. And I'm going to share with you a short video, 2 minutes. And it just basically shows you how I actually write that word out and see if you can follow it. Now, one of the things that, is not very possible for me to do here in the Zoom space is to show you how to use the colors and the pastels. But I think in times when we are able to do this in person, it could go a long way, and we can do that then. But for now, just see what, the painting has been, done with the oil pastels. It has been set, and now it's ready for the mantra to be written on it. And here's, before I said the word that is being sung is that word Vaheguru also. So it's a very it's a time when you sit down, you find your space. Usually either it's quiet, or you can put in any kind of light music or any music that connects you to whoever you're connected to, which music brings you down to that. I'm going to put the volume down a little bit. I hope you can hear it, and you can put the volume down if you require it too. But here we go. So that was just a brief introduction of how, the word itself is written. As you can see, I don't really put in any lines of guidance. I just go with the flow. Wherever the hand goes, I go. I just don't try to, block it with any thought. Just let it flow. And so, one of the, here's another one, a painting I just did recently. And the words in here are again in Punjabi, or which is also derived from Sanskrit. And it says "If Jalat Mohi," which I'm sure it doesn't really mean anything to you, but it simply means that I am in awe of you. The you here being the infinite. And as if you can see that there is, it's a galaxy. The words have been put in gold all around the word, because when you look up, down, left, right, within, there is nothing but awe. It is that infinite source that is doing everything. So any word, the question is, which mantra should one choose? Any word that lifts your consciousness to a higher vibration as you write it with intention can be used. If it's connecting you to a higher source, that's good. For example, some people, the word love is something that they connect with immediately, brings them joy, or simply the word joy, or gratitude, or peace, or a word from your own faith. It would be amazing if we could have a mantra art done with words that come from another faith. I am waiting for that time when somebody will say, hey, I made a piece like this and I used Om in it, or something like that. And so I use Vaheguru because it connects me to that feeling of oneness and the omnipresence. So for Muslims, it may be Allah. For Christians, I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, but if the word itself, the Jesus word, helps you connect to it, that, or Hail Mary, or anything, please correct me if I'm wrong, but anything like that. So literally anything that allows you to connect or feel that energy. So because the purpose of art, what is it? Art actually enables us to find ourselves and to lose ourselves at the same time. This is a piece that I did about a year ago, and this is a butterfly with the word mantra in it, the Vaheguru in it. And for me, it is an invitation, and for the viewer, an invitation to see that everything that's around us, including trees, butterflies, flowers, anything, they are nothing but the manifestation of the one source. So each painting takes me on a journey. And as my paint, brush, or pen follow, each time I'm led back to my center. It is in this process, the process of creation, that I find my rhythm. I'll stand still as the inner teacher takes over. Once that rhythmic writing begins, sometimes you are following the hand instead of making it the other way around. So as I witness the evolving process, each time I'm left in awe. I remember doing that piece. I don't know if you remember, in the PowerPoint, I showed you a picture of the Harmandir Sahib, which is the Golden Temple, a place of worship in India. And it's very close to everyone that has visited it or knows about it. And I remember doing that. And one day, when it was all finished, I placed it on our mantelpiece and I left. I came back, and I think it was like about a day after, and I came back and I saw it, and I looked at it, and I couldn't remember how it got done. It was just, I don't know how to put it in words. I was left in awe, is what all I want to share with you. So in any art form, as we release judgment, silence our mind, breathe deep into the process, we begin to find bliss in each step, realizing that we are boundlessly assisted in our authentic and heart-centered expression. We step out of the way. Because our art is not born of us, but through us. And with this understanding, we are humbled, yet profoundly empowered. As you can see in this piece, The Tree of Love, each of the words, I don't know if you can see them, but at the bottom, all those roots, they are all with a mantra in them, as the branches are. And a lot of people have seen these, to realize that as the roots become well deep into the love and the joy of life, the branches that will come forth will be equally beautiful. Andy Warhol, I'm sure you would have heard of this very famous artist. He says, don't think about making art, just get it done. Don't think about it. Let everyone else decide if it's good or bad, whether they love it or they hate it. While they're deciding, make even more art. Don't worry about anything. It's not about waiting for someone else to judge and say whether it's good or bad. It's about how you are feeling at the time and whether you're able to connect with it. If you're able to connect with it, you will like it and love it. And another artist, Leonardo da Vinci. Learn how to see. Realize that everything connects to everything else. These are little connections all over the world when you take a look at them. I will leave them with you and you try to tell me what they are, what you think they are. I think you could probably make out the first one quite easily, but perhaps not the second and the third one. So give it some thought and let me know when we are chatting later on what you thought it was. So let's get back to us here. And let's see if we can make some art. So do put your mic on when you're saying something. And first of all, any comments, any suggestions, any questions? What would you like to ask me? And Ellie, then you can direct everybody to what we want to do. Okay.
Any questions or comments from anyone? I guess I just want to say I found this fascinating. There was so much depth in it, but I also, Kavita, I see your hand up just a sec. I just had never thought of mantra as anything but a sound. And so to think of it more as a vibration that guides even my hand was quite eye-opening. So Kavita, you had your hand up? You need to unmute yourself, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Thank you for letting me be part of this. And I am totally in awe of Juss Kaur. And she's amazing inside out. And whatever she's shared right now is giving me goosies and it's amazing. I'm lucky to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kavita.
Mm-hmm.
So much.
So maybe I would love to try my hand at art. So I know some of you we sent or gave, I know some of you have it ready, some sheets, and I printed them off. Oops, my heart is upside down. Oh, we have different colored inks apparently.
Yeah.
So this is my printer.
Nice, Renee. Yeah. You chose one that you like the best or any. So could you have something?
No, I will need to write something. I didn't get them. No.
Okay,
No.
but could you please, if you want, you can grab a piece of paper
I do that.
or any picture that you might want to write on top or
Yes.
something like that.
Yes, I do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ashley, you set?
Yes. Yeah. Just grabbing a piece of paper. I
So
don't
my-
have a printer, so
That's okay.
yeah.
You know, would have been nicer if we had more time. I could have, asked people to bring their oil pastels or other things, and then we could have done that. But I thought it would be easier just to have something right away and then try it. So
Yeah.
let me ask you, Kavita, do you have something that you could write on, or? Okay.
I have ample art supplies, so I'm gonna just scribble some red marker and then go for
Yeah.
it. So
That's
Great.
perfect. While we are waiting for everyone to settle in, I want to give you an example of somebody else's work, not to influence you, but to give you guidance. I mean, here's somebody in one of my other workshops. They had done this. Can you see it? Can you see the way they've done?
Yes.
And then there is, a similar type of thing that you've got the red lotus, and they simply drew a heart, colored it in with a couple of different colors. Doesn't have to be very big. Anything that calls your name, whatever you are connected with. Some people love feathers, for example, or some people love just a leaf or something. Anything that you want. Okay, and here are a couple more. This, I think some of you might have this one. This is a basic template for doing that hope painting. And don't worry about finishing it, okay? We're going to do about 10 minutes of this. You will start and then share it with us. And then later on, you could give it, more time, go into it, put your own music on, and then go. I'm going to try and put that music on that I had just now. Would you prefer to do that, or would you like to do it in silence? Would it be okay if I put the mantra on?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right, then. So I will do that, and you can get started in a sec.
So just for clarification, so I'm gonna pick one of them and take my pen,
Yeah.
and then write a mantra. Like I would pick one mantra for me and just keep writing it and designing with it. That's what you're inviting us to do?
Yes. So
Got
you're
it.
basically writing in whatever you've chosen.
Yeah.
Start at one end and decide the size that you're doing. Gagandeep, are you still there? I keep missing you because I don't see you. So, but I think you know what we are doing already. And so either you want to, yeah, would love to see what you come up with too. Okay.
Do we need to use the same color or the black color only?
It's up to you. Whatever you feel stands out.
Okay.
Okay, it's got to stand out a little bit. Otherwise, it will dissolve in it and you won't see anything. Okay, I'm going to try, while you're starting, I'm going to try and get that music and put it on. And we'll take about 10 to 12 minutes, Ellie, and then continue from there. Okay, all right.
Oi, sorry.
How's it going? Just 2 minutes of just quietly working. Okay, I think we'll stop here now. And let's see how it went with you. Remember, this is your first time. And just, would you like to share it? I mean, it's up to you, but I'd love to see it. So you can either hold it up. I'm not sure if you can actually put it in the chat, but go ahead and maybe, let's see who would like to start.
I'll share some of mine.
Okay, Renee.
So, I chose for my mantra, I am that I am, which is from the Judeo-Christian tradition way
Yes.
back.
Yes. I love that.
And I love what that speaks about the divine, but myself, it's just so grounding to me. It just is like, just I am, and I am that I am. And
That
to
I
me,
am. Yes.
just so, it just is like, whoa, I love it.
Yes.
So I just started in this circle here, and I used a light color first because I ended up buying a bunch of pens this morning because I went to get this printed at the printer, and then I saw they had these pens and they were so lovely. So I just love nice pens. So
Yeah.
I started in like a yellow, and then I have an orange, and then I'm going out with the same on here. So I think I'm going to go out. We'll just see where it leads.
Beautiful. Beautiful. First of all, I connect with that mantra too. It's just beautiful. And I think that what you're onto, the circle, you got the circle, and then you're now off to the sides. That's beautiful. I would love to see that completed. When you do finish it won't take you that long. You might think it will, it won't.
Okay.
If you just get yourself a nice cup of coffee and a quiet time and just finish it off, you'll enjoy it. Okay, Renee, you can send it to me in my email.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put it in here, the email address in the chat, so you have it, everybody. And so who's going to be next? Thank you for that, Renee. Ashley, yeah.
I tried.
Okay.
Would you like to go first, Kavita?
No, let her go. No.
Okay.
Whoever is ready.
Sure. So I did, it's a Celtic Trinity there.
Oh.
And I used the word Awen, which is a Welsh word, which means divinely flowing inspiration.
Wow.
And it's this concept in Celtic culture, which is largely my background, that there is inspiration that is all around us and within us, and you cultivate it, and it is divine. And I just think that concept is so beautiful. So
how do you spell that word?
Awen.
Awen. And you say it Awen?
Awen.
Awen. Oh,
yeah.
Lovely.
Like, when is it?
Oh, yeah, that's good. Remembering it. When is it? Yes. Could you hold it up again, because I wasn't able to see it properly?
Yeah, see if it's in this. Yeah, I don't know if my camera will.
Yeah,
is it visible? It's still very like thin,
okay.
I guess.
Okay.
But I went with the Celtic Trinity because.
Right, I can see that. Then are you going to write that's a word you're going to write in there?
So I wrote Awen in tiny, tiny letters.
Okay, see, it's hard to. Oh, of course, yes. Now I see. I see it now. Yes. So, lovely, absolutely wonderful, great. Thank you so much again. If you do end up finishing it, and I would encourage you to do so, then please do share it with me. That would be wonderful.
Sure.
Okay. Ellie, would you like to go next, or Vicky? Which one should we have?
Ellie.
I'd love to go. Juss, I have to say, I enjoyed this so much, and I surprised myself because I'm not good at arts. It's not something I do. I've never, but this was amazing. My biggest challenge was that I only have one good pencil. I have a lovely set of pencils on my desk at the office, but I used the heart.
Yes.
Actually, hang on. I got a I'm gonna take Ashley off the pin, and then I'm gonna put myself on the pin. There we go. So I use the heart, and my mantra is God is love, which to me is the center of Christianity and actually the center of much of humanity. And so I wrote this all around the heart.
Oh.
And what I want to do actually is I want to take different colors and sort of create a rainbow.
Yes.
So lighter start. I had only the black, so to go out and just keep going with the God is love. And then I was also playing with, I don't know if that's, you're probably going to tell me I can do whatever is right, but I was also thinking of flipping it and saying love is God. So in some of the, that's where I started, but I really enjoyed this.
Wonderful. I'm so happy to hear that. And again, please, please, please share when you're done.
Okay. And I just want to say, if any of you forget Juss's email, you're welcome to send them to us, mfsc@concordia.ca, and we can forward them to Juss. So
thank you. Thank you. And so let's go with you, Vicky.
Okay, I didn't have a template because I was having trouble logging in. So I just created my own on the spot. I drew my hand.
Oh.
And I tried to write because I've always wondered how you write so much Vaheguru in anything you. So this is fascinating. I thought, okay. She said, just go with the flow. And I did.
And you did. And it looks
I'm trying.
Lovely.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
You have an artistic streak in you, I know. And then you've already, you know, actually, nobody needs anything. It's just connection. That's all that means. That's all that's required. And once again, please, when you finish it, you share it. Okay.
And you are there to guide us. Thank you.
So let's go with Soko now.
Hi.
Hi.
So I the same. I didn't have the templates, and I like lotus flowers, so I did something like similar to lotus.
Can you see that? Oh.
And then my mantra is Om. I'm a yoga teacher and I'm a mindfulness teacher. Yeah. And for me, Om, it's the vibration of the universe. So it's everything included. It's all the connections, and it's God, and it's and it's very soothing. I have several tapes, and it's really soothing. And it's one way to practice the mantras. I've learned when I was becoming a yoga teacher. Yes, it's just write the mantras many times, but I found creating art and integrating the mantra is much more beautiful than just writing the mantra. Just filling up pages. So it's so thank you
so much. Please do finish it and share it. I put my email in there, or to MFSU, whichever you think you could do. That would be wonderful.
Okay, great. And, thank you.
Yeah. And last but not least, Gagandi.
I've choose this one.
Yeah.
And I started with the, can you see that? I started with the black color inside. And then I thought, oh, it's look a bit very dark. And I then added just outline outside. How do I show? Yeah, here.
Yes. We can see it's not easy to see. That's the thing right now.
Yeah.
But I can see that when you talked about it, I could take a look. I could see it. Yes.
Yeah. So same thing I was going to do, different colors and coming inside, different colors, and then bring it in, fill it inside part of this.
Yeah.
So with the different colors, so that I just loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I always had a guilt feeling of not guilt feeling, but I always used to think, oh, I'm doing my prayers and I'm writing this as well. So I have music in the background, not saying Vaheguru, but it says prayers, and I will do this and sit here and will do. And then I always had a guilt feeling of, oh, I should be focusing on one thing. But after listening to you, this is like a meditation as well. And I think last month I was quite stressed with few things and started doing that. And for that moment, as you said in your presentation, you get lost and you forget things and you're just deep into. Now I realize like why I was so calm for that half an hour, because this is a meditation
Mhm.
which I didn't relate to it, I just thought it's art, but of course it's not. And
It's
thanks very much. Thanks again. Yeah,
oh,
loved it.
that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. That's great.
Mark, do you have anything to share? I know you're still on there. I don't know if you can turn on your camera or not, but
Yes, here I I actually
no
do.
pressure.
So I've
Okay.
migrated to the better internet. Um,
Ah,
okay. So I didn't have something. I'll show perhaps the image first. I like Ashley, I tried to do sort of just 3 lines basic, um, which started here, but then it extended and sort of became an octopus, which ironically is a meaningful animal to me, both because I had been reading about octopuses for a while, but the first time, this is a very big bracket. I had gone to the Toronto Aquarium to see an octopus, but it was a baby, so you couldn't find it. They're very, very hard to see when they're a baby. I went back 2 years later, and the octopus was an adult, but they also only live for 2 years. So I saw it at the end of its life. Um, so in any case, I wrote be good, see, and do. Um, but I was also just, while doing this process, it was relaxing, but I was also just thinking about how we don't often look to words themselves as art, or like a word can seem very stable, but I guess I was feeling sort of that there's a lot of motion, especially thinking of your vibrations. I thought that was quite neat, or the point on vibrations. So
Mm.
indeed.
Oh, wow, Mark, thank you so much for sharing. And you know what? The octopus, have you seen that film called The Octopus as My Teacher?
No, it's been on my list. It looks wonderful. Is it good?
That's excellent.
Okay.
I loved it. It's you if you can, it's available on Prime Video. It's really, really
Okay.
well. That's wonderful. And so I will give it to you now, Ellie. I think we're done. But if there's anything,
wow, wow, Just. Thank you so much. That's just been a wonderful exploration of art, but also meditation and ourselves. I mean, there's so much richness in that. What, even just the question, what's my mantra? What's, what and it also is just a really helpful practice in these times of COVID. I think it's really important to settle down and sort of settle in and find ways to stay calm and remember that we're connected to ourselves deep within and the great divine. And so thank you for everything you've offered us. Um, so with that, I think we're going to close. We usually do a closing and say what we've learned, but we've just done that, so that's lovely. Um, and I encourage you, as Just says, keep doing your art, your mantra art, and then send it to Just or to us at our department, and then and thank you for engaging. And before we sign off, I do want to say that next week is reading week. There will not be a cafe. And in 2 weeks, Ashley, I'm going to put you on the spot, and Yagandeep has a quick question too. So, Ashley, what do we do in 2 weeks? Oh, it's me, isn't it? Oh, it's great. I just remembered as I put you on the spot. So in 2 weeks, we have a conversation with a colleague of mine, Brian Cardwana, who's from Toronto and runs an organization called Encountering World Religions. And we're still finalizing things, but I'm actually hoping that he's going to share with us some stories about how to be a good guest in places of worship. So he does his big program is the Encounter World Religions Week, where you go to 12 places of worship in 8 days. I've done it. It's phenomenal. But to really, what does it mean to engage with someone else's faith? And how do we do that respectfully and also in a way integral to ourselves? So it'll be on Facebook, it'll be on Instagram. Join us. That's in 2 weeks. And we always have, our cafes have always been, if I may say so myself, wonderful because we have such amazing guests. So just thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And Gagandeep, you had a question.
Yeah, a quick question to Jazz. You use pens on color oil pastels. Does it not ruin your pen?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Does it not like ruin the pens? Like
Yeah.
when we write on oil pastels. So how does
No,
it?
well, with the oil pastels, you have to allow them to set and you have to give several layers to it. Otherwise, the wax will actually, or the oil in the pastels will be problematic. So,
Yeah.
yes, there is a setting process that you have to do with that. And then after that, it will not destroy the pens. And
Okay.
it'll be fun. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very
Great
much.
question. A reminder to be patient too.
Yeah.
Many things that are, people say things that are worth it to take patience or take their time. And that's a bit of a lost art, but I think in COVID, we're learning patience again. So, and this is a wonderful practice as well to just take our time. So thank you for taking the time this afternoon for the cafe. I hope we'll see you again next week. And just thank you so very much.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. I really appreciate you taking your time and sending you lots of love and hugs. Thank you so much.
Sending you lots of love.
Thank
Thank you
you.
all.
Likewise.